Boobies.
Hello.
Hey.
Howdy.
Hello. Sound like you're answering the phone.
I sounds like the hello, and then the ice cream jingle plays. Yeah.
Ding 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 ding
ding
ding
ding
ding.
I love that song. Oh, I got goosebumps.
Hello.
That's perfect. Can you record that for me? I'm gonna want to make
this
it.
is recorded.
Yes.
Like
but
in like a studio. Well,
yeah.
this is a studio.
But like in like a audio like setting that's like where it's just for that.
Music.
Yes, because I want that as like my text tone.
Okay.
Do it again.
Well, now there's a lot of pressure.
No,
it
do
needs
it
to be.
now.
I'm afraid I'm going to slip into my parrot
Do
hello.
Or Michael Myers is gonna slash my throat.
Oh, okay. Hello.
I'm dead. I'm literally bleeding out.
Hello.
No more pressure. You know what? We found out today.
I don't
Caitlin does not
work
work well under
pressure.
pressure. It's okay. You don't have to.
I lie on every resume ever.
You're supposed to do that from the get-go. Can you ride a horse? I don't know, but you're gonna learn.
That's right.
Yep. And
yeah, I actually have taken some.
equestrian lessons?
I took one dressage lesson when I was 10 because I don't know why the fuck, but I did.
I wish I would have
exactly
actually.
one. I still could not tell you really how to ride a horse.
You just get on it.
That's right. That's what I said.
Get on it and you slap its butt.
You just,
You say yeehaw
yeehaw.
or yip yip.
Yip yip.
Yep.
Yip yip.
But that's not that kind of podcast. Welcome you guys to Boobies.
Boobies, a horror movie podcast.
Where we talk about your favorite or not favorite and everything in between horror movies.
That's right. And we are your hosts. I am Caitlin.
And I'm Joshua.
And we're here to whisper in your ears about spooky things.
Do it.
Spooky things.
Do it. Whatever it is, do it.
Spooky.
Spooky. Yeah, today we are going to be talking about the movie that I really enjoyed. It was Halloween, the 2018 version.
Yeah.
2018. Yeah, it is basically a requel, I guess, we're kind of going-ish, kind of like a sequel in a way, but like a rehashing of kind of like similar characters that we already are very familiar with, and it was kind of similar storyline, honestly.
Yeah,
so
it had
rampaging murderer.
It drew a lot back to the original.
Yeah,
I felt like there was a lot of nice little nods that were in it.
I mean, technically, so it is a direct sequel to the 1978 version of, or original Halloween, which did have a sequel already, which was Halloween 2, which is like my favorite Halloween movie.
Yeah, super good.
Which was covered already. If you haven't heard it or listened to it. Heard it. Anyways, yeah. If you haven't listened to it, go back and check it out. And so this is basically taking place of Halloween 2. This is essentially Halloween 2, but they named it Halloween.
Yeah. To be extra confusing.
Yeah. It's just kind of like Scream 5.
Yeah.
Same
with
situation.
The and the
It's 5 cream.
5 cream.
5 cream.
We love 5 cream.
Yeah, it was really
good.
I love how we're about. Yeah, it was good. But yeah, 2018 is directed by David Gordon Green.
Danny McBride was one of the executive producers on this.
He's actually, if you look into a lot of things, he's an EP on a lot of things.
Oh, really?
That you honestly sometimes wouldn't even think.
Yeah. Whenever I saw his name, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Danny McBride's fucking hilarious.
He does a lot of EP and like does actually a lot of like writing.
Oh, yeah.
Writing with some of the movies, at least I know that he's been a part of.
Interesting. Yeah, I would have expected it on like more comedy-esque. And I mean, the Halloween films honestly do have a little, like the whole Bon Me situation in this one
to it,
was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like there's some funny moments and stuff too. Not that I'm saying that they only happen because of him.
Oh gosh, because like think about it, like what's a horror movie without a little comedy in there?
Yeah.
That's just dark.
Just sad. Gotta have something to break the mood a little bit. Otherwise it's too heavy.
Tension, yeah, exactly.
Something makes you laugh every time, I think.
Right? And so it does. And so in this movie, we're taking it and it's basically 40 years after the original movie.
Basically to the date, to the day.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we get a little bit.
Halloween. They're leading up.
The day before.
I think it's like, yeah, exactly. And it is essentially you're getting what is Laurie now, 40 years later.
Fucking badass.
Badass, but also ravaged by trauma.
Yeah.
And by, I'd say,
her fucking asshole family.
I can hear myself a lot better.
Supportive.
Right here. Sorry, you guys, if you couldn't hear me before. I'm back and I'm better than ever.
I'm back.
Yeah, recluse, very almost on edge at all times, because she kind of lives with that constant fear of like he could come back at any moment. Her shoulder. Yeah, because she, there was no closure with that first encounter she had with Michael.
Yeah.
And this, if you're familiar with the franchise, with the mini timelines that we have, this kind of retcons any timeline that we had previously. And also, for, I guess, what would have led up to us finding out that he would have been her brother in the second one.
Yeah.
He is not her brother in this one.
Yeah.
So there's no familiar relation at all between them.
I like that they explained that. Like, they were just basically like, that was something that people made up to sensationalize.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
the story. And
I was like, oh, okay.
And throughout this whole storyline, we really do get that. They really try to pull away from that whole idea of her being basically pre-selected because there was family relation, but just that he is literally evil incarnate, and he was just
she's
killing.
Unfinished business.
Yeah, that's basically it.
She's the one who got away. It's just a love story.
It really is. And
whenever at one point Laurie's like, he waited for me and I waited for him, and I was like, damn, someone called a preacher.
They're going to get married. Yeah. The nuptials. Yeah. They're a match made in hell.
Match made in hell. I love that. Mm-hmm. Let's make a t-shirt.
Little stickers. And so that's kind of basically setting up the whole premise of this movie. Obviously they're going to meet, and we're going to have an ultimate smackdown between Laurie and
showdown.
Michael. And so place your bets now, because we're going to find out who wins this battle. I would bet on Laurie as well. She's final girl.
Yeah, she was.
She's the Scream Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, obviously, in every iteration, I mean, she's only died once in H2 in Halloween Resurrection, but that was per her request. And I'm really interested to see if Michael's going to die in this next film, because I don't think he is, because they never kill him.
He can't die.
He's contractually obligated. He's contractually, remember, he cannot die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's still even in effect.
So interesting.
I know.
Why are you going to call it Halloween Ends, though? Right?
At least for now, it'll probably be the final
Halloween
one for a while.
Ends. LOLJK.
For at least hopefully a good 10 years. And then maybe they can reboot it. But even then, I'm like, give it like at least like a couple, they can skip a generation. A generation can be skipped. So that way, it's fresher instead of just like rehashing.
Yeah.
They should definitely try to redo the Nightmare on Elm Streets now. Or Friday the 13th. Switch. But I think there's also, like, of course, legal. Like with the ownership of like franchises and names and stuff. I think there's like people want it to be done, but it can't be done.
Can't be done.
Yeah. So should we hop in?
We should. Yeah. So we get in. First off, loving the font. Font was good.
Yeah.
Was a fan. I was like, okay, it's taking me back a little bit. Felt very reminiscent, and it was very 80s.
It is.
That was super fun.
I loved it.
And we're in a rehabilitation facility. I was like, I wasn't quite sure of the correct term.
I wrote down. You saw it. Okay, good.
Yeah,
great.
It's Smith Grove's Rehabilitation Facility.
There we go.
Yeah. And then also, okay, at one point you overhear, like, you're just kind of seeing some, like, patients going throughout, speaking with the doctor at first, and he's talking about, like, how it's 45 minutes max it, like, you're dreaming throughout your night. I always thought it was, like, fucking seconds.
Was really?
Yeah, that, like, that you could be dreaming, or, like, 3 minutes, maybe.
But it feels like hours.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know the science.
But this one said 45 minutes, and I'm like, I don't know anything.
You can dream up to 45 minutes.
I guess so.
So that's the cap?
I guess so. Max.
Oh. Like for per like every 9 hours or something like that, or what?
I don't know about if you like wake up and then you reset it.
Well, I know because it's like, I think it's like every either 30 minutes, and I think it's like 90-minute intervals, like is when you actually enter into like REM,
full REM.
deep sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ari. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, and so we get to meet Dr. Sartain. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Sartain, and we get to meet these podcasters,
Mm-hmm.
which their names are Say So and Say Saw. I don't remember.
I believe it's Aaron and Dana.
There we go. Honestly, I was just like podcaster number 1 and podcaster number 2.
I only caught it in their death scene. Otherwise, I had no clue. I was just like redhead girl,
because they never get mentioned by name.
Boy
to each other, really.
Yeah.
And so they are talking to this Dr. Sartain. Obviously, they're there because they want to interview Michael. They want to talk to the Michael Myers, who has been there in captivity for 40 years
and has never spoken. So it's like,
yeah,
what are you gonna
they
do?
think that they're the ones who are gonna just break them because they have something.
Bringing up the fucking mask.
Yeah, they have something of his. So he was kept there to be studied by Dr. excuse me, Loomis.
I liked that we got a little mention of Dr. Loomis and stuff. That was good.
Shout out to Billy.
Yeah.
And he was basically kept there because they wanted to study like a serial killer, like someone evil, kind of see how that mind functions. Which is like, when is that ever a good idea? It's just because like, what is there to really understand, and how would that become like?
I don't think it's something that rational. People
because even
understand.
then, like, people become that either because they're a sociopath, right? That means that they just don't feel anything at all,
I believe,
or they are
I always get socio and
then the psycho
confused.
and then they are psychopath if like something happened to them and they just unleash and lash that out onto the world. You know what I mean?
But not all socio and like people who are technically qualified as socio or like psychopath,
but also I'm not a doctor
are not murderers. It's just that is
a terminology that is used scientifically and medicinally. But yeah, so
and basically all that Loomis came to is like, nah, he's just fucking pure
evil. Yeah,
he's just evil.
There's nothing that can be saved about him. No redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
Which
it's like we should listen to Loomis.
Really should have. But Dr. Sartain was a student of Dr. Loomis, and he's kind of carried on his studies.
And he's like
he's taken it. Yeah, he's taken it a lot further.
As we see later on, too.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize it was that intense because Loomis seemed to be fascinated by him, but he had a healthy fear of him.
Yeah.
And this guy just was like, it was almost like Michael was his baby.
Yeah, like his idol almost in a way. And then like even when
he met Laurie, it was like he was meeting a celebrity. And it was kind of like, ew.
Yeah, he's very obsessed.
Yeah.
Very much that like fan that then like pretends they're not a fan and then like worms their way into like the person's life, if that makes sense. Just weird. He's a little stalker vibes.
Yeah.
And so
that's some shit I would do.
Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta secure the bag. And you know what? You're gonna secure the bag.
I am.
With clips in your hair.
Oh.
They're cute. Everybody needs to see them. Hear of them.
Clips.
I hope you guys can feel them through the microphone. They're very cute. Rub it. Very what's it called? ASAM? BDSM? Stands for
we can make that kind of show.
And so they end up being allowed to see and meet with Michael. He is kind of held in this at the moment anyways. What would you call that? Like an open it's giving
open air facility. I don't know. It looked like a little courtyard.
Yeah, that's what it was. But it has like a red and white checkered floor.
Yeah,
like
it's sort of
diamond
tiled.
Yeah, tiled. It's weird
looking thing.
It's just giving aesthetics.
Yeah, because it was very it was actually very aesthetically pleasing for the shots that they had.
It feels like a stylistic choice.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, I don't see any facility paying money to be like, we want red and white tiles. They'd be like, just cement. It's cheap and it's easy to like clean vomit off of. But yeah.
And then they taped them into they basically made these little perimeters that were these yellow boxes. I guess it wasn't tape, it was like paint.
Yeah.
And then the patients are just chained to
by the foot.
Yeah. And so then they can move within the like
perimeters of that box
where
the chain has them, but
no further.
Yeah. They're basically being held like dogs in captivity.
Yeah.
At this point. But
don't worry, they're getting a great, fresh air.
Yeah, fresh air. Honestly, and I mean, I'm not a doctor. Who's to say they don't need those? And so they
I mean, with Michael,
you definitely need probably another one. I don't see why they didn't have two. You shouldn't
yeah.
honestly be allowed to talk because he just kills. It's not like
Hannibal Lecter
it's not like we want to treat him bad. It's just the man just does nothing but kill.
Yeah.
He's gonna kill. We can only expect that.
He's one-track mind.
Yeah, literally.
One-track mind, Michael is.
Kill or be killed, and Michael will kill. And so they come up next to him. They're the one dude, podcaster one, is talking to Aaron. He is talking to him. He's basically trying to entice a reaction out of him. He pulls out the original mask, the William Shatner mask that he had from the Halloween original movie from 1978, and he's just basically yelling at him to say something.
It felt very Sasha.
Yeah, it did.
Not allowing the ghost to respond.
It really did. Good callback.
Because he was just like asking one question after another, and I was like, bruh, like you're not even giving him a chance.
Time to respond.
Before you just start
he's
screaming.
Just yelling at him.
Yeah.
Say something. Say something. Like what if there is like if this movie had a tagline, it would be say something. And very clearly when you watch Hollywood Kills, you're gonna see that there's a tagline for that one too.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you, it's Evil Dies Tonight.
Oh, okay.
So when you hear it,
I feel like I remember seeing that on
when you hear it, just know that you're gonna hear it. When you hear it for the first time, just know that because it's like you hear that first time, you're like, oh, that's actually very clever. That's very clever.
And then they're like 7 more times.
Minimum,
14.
minimum, yeah. And so they don't really elicit a reaction out of him, and then we have
but all the other patients are losing their
minds because they're showing the mask, I guess. And it's this. Well, honestly, it's apparently, and I think they're gonna go with this in the Halloween ends. It's the spirit of the mask, really, because it's not necessarily even Michael.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, it's not exactly. And that mask was invented by Loki. It's very much the mask as opposed to necessarily even the spirit that's inside Michael, if that makes sense. Yeah, so
that's kind of fun.
So the mask has this like evilness that's in it. Yeah,
cursed object.
Exactly, basically.
That makes a little more sense for when
sense.
Homeboy puts on the mask,
and it gives him more supernatural abilities.
Like, damn, was he possessed?
Yeah,
I was like, did Michael's body just go?
Into
his little
him.
soul go? Bloop,
yeah,
right over.
That would make sense, and very Chucky. And so it sets off the other, patients. They're whatever. He's screaming at him, say something, and then immediately right after that, we get cut to the title, Halloween. And then I love the revamped theme song.
Yes,
it's like got synths in it, and it's like way more like dun dun dun. Like
that was perfect.
Yeah.
And
so
I liked the pumpkin like undecaying. Coming back to life. That was fun.
Yeah, it's like they're resurrecting the story.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It was cool. I liked it. And then I also liked that they didn't really show his face. You kind of saw his face, but not really. Like you could never like be like just looking through like a lineup of people and be like, that one's Michael.
That's Mike.
I feel like
that's my guy.
I liked that. I think it would have ruined it for me had I had an actual face attached to Michael.
Yeah.
Did they do that in Halloween Kills? I only want the mask.
No,
I didn't like this mask as much.
Oh, it's like more. Well, I think it's supposed to give like it's been like 40 years. It kind of beat up. It looks vintagey, if that makes sense, or like
it looked thicker.
That makes sense. Yeah, it did a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah.
I wish it.
The other one was more flimsy.
Thinner. Yeah, which I liked.
Yeah,
because I mean, realistically, it wouldn't get thicker.
It would be a William Shatner. It's a William Shatner. That's my bad. I'm sorry, William Shatner. And so William Shatner.
Shatner's List.
That's
terrible. That's
a drag name.
Illegal.
William Shatner. And so they end up failing to provoke him, right? So they end up leaving. They're in their vehicle, and I think this is when they start making plans they're gonna go look for Laurie. right?
Yep.
They're talking about how they're gonna go and see her.
Yep. And we get that we're in Haddonfield,
Yeah,
Illinois.
we're in Haddonfield. They end up talking about how she's like, I brought money just in case, and he's like, who pays for
We don't pay for interviews.
And I'm just like, I think people pay for interviews. I think that's like how it works.
I'm pretty sure that is
So literally
how
the
it
standard.
works.
Yeah. People don't just talk for free. And so she brought money. They end up talking to Lori at the little intercom she has
And
on
she's
her
like
premises.
locked up as tight as Alcatraz.
Oh yeah, she's got
like,
all the locks.
Yeah.
And it's basically like one of those things you go and push the button and be like, hi, hello, can I get a cheeseburger and a number whatever? And so they call her. She's talking to them, and she's basically like being like, I don't want to talk to y'all.
Yeah.
And she's like, I have $3,000.
Yeah, she was like, how does $3,000 sound? And then
I'd be like, you've got 3 minutes,
She
$1,000
just-
for each minute.
lets them in. And I
Yeah.
was like, hell yeah, girl, get your money.
Get the money.
Get
obviously.
your money.
It was real funny that I kind of would have expected her whenever they walked in to be like money up front.
Mm-hmm.
But she obviously gets it. But I mean, still, yeah. But anyways, she has all these locked doors. She answers the door, kind of keeps them at the door. They then kind of tell her they're, investigative, or they already told her they were investigative journalists, quote unquote. They're just podcasters. And they are met at the door with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's like,
Yeah, she's just like, what do you want? And so they just want to talk to her, basically. So she lets them in. And I love how she pulls up the chair. And she's just like, there's nothing new.
There's nothing
no new
new.
insights.
Nothing's
Like,
gonna
what do you want to
happen.
know? Like,
there's
everything.
nothing to understand.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like they're basically antagonizing her and saying, like, the boogeyman. Like, I don't believe the boogeyman's not real, basically. But I believe in Michael Myers, the serial killer. And she's like, you should believe in the boogeyman.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's it.
Yeah. And then it's just, even too, like, it just, like, you're right. They're just really antagonizing her because.
They're like two failed marriages. Can't hold a relationship with your daughter and granddaughter. It's like, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
You came into my house and you're going to bring up my past?
Like, obviously, if you already knew, because she even says, she's like, well, there you go. Like, you already knew that already. You already know all this. So, like, why even bother speaking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So I'm like, Lori is not having it.
She is not.
So she ends up talking to them about, how they're going to have a transfer at 7 tomorrow.
And she's
with Michael.
And she finishes the sentence. She's like, I already knew. I done knew that.
Yeah.
You think I didn't know? Like,
she keeps tabs.
Yeah.
She knows. And she has to be, because she's like his number one target. So it's like, she's going to be aware because she wants to be
in witness
precautious.
Protection.
Yeah, she really should. She shouldn't even be like literally in the States.
Yeah.
She should be living
exactly.
in Europe somewhere.
I'm like, why did she not just get away?
And she literally stayed in Haddonfield. Like,
didn't even
leave
move
the
city.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll stay here.
So we have that happening. She accepts their payment. And then
she's like, I'll take my money now.
That's whenever we get to Miss Judy Greer playing her daughter. And her name is Karen.
And they ask her to sit down with Michael.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
And it's like, who the fuck are you to ask this woman who watched like
the dude, like, he killed her friends.
All of her friends.
Yeah, was almost killing
attempted
her.
to kill her. Yeah. You are going to ask her to sit down?
It's giving...
With him? Like, no.
A little bit insensitive.
Everyone in this whole film is so insensitive to her. Her whole
really
family.
Are.
I'm
well,
like,
and I think it's supposed to also represent...
over it.
It's supposed to represent kind of the general, like, how people deal with trauma.
Yeah.
And not necessarily Lori, but like the people around her who deal with her trauma. Like, deal with the trauma of her having trauma. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
They're not very accepting.
Not at all.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
So we open up back at a new place. So we get a new little frame. It is her daughter, Karen, who is played by Judy Greer, which I'm just always like, she's in everything. She's just consistently just always like collecting money. I love it. Happy for her.
She never the
honestly.
main.
No, never the main. But like,
she had a pretty decent sized role.
Yeah,
in this one.
She usually generally does. I just remember like 13 going on 30. Do you remember that one?
I watched it actually very recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
it's such
2
a good
weeks ago.
movie. It's
I don't
a
know
good
why
one.
Andrew and I were just like, we'll watch this. So I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
did he like it?
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
cute.
he'd seen it
A little
before too.
rom-com. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
It was
I
just a nice,
and then like, the little
lighthearted.
thriller moment.
Yeah.
And then like, and then she like learns her lesson and goes back, and then Maddie, and then the house, and it's good. We should
So
cover
sweet.
that. We should cover it.
It's a horror film.
It's a horror film.
The horror film of growing up.
The horror film of making a wish
If
that
we have to cover that, then we cover Big.
Okay, making a wish that you didn't realize was going to send you like 30 years into the future.
Yeah.
And then like, or however many that is, because she was already 13, so 20 something or whatever. But yeah, that's scary.
terrifying.
Yeah, right?
Oh,
How
I
do you
had a-
even know if you're like even like a virgin anymore? You're not.
Well, clearly
Right?
she wasn't. Yeah.
Right?
She woke up to.
But like, how do you even, like, you don't even remember what that, I don't know why I let down, but you don't remember what
Look
it's
inside.
like. I don't know.
I had a friend go see Don't Worry, Darling, and I was told that we need a Boobays episode on it stat.
Oh, is it really? Like,
Yeah.
I see it wasn't even giving me like,
It was giving me psychological thriller.
yeah, instead of like horror, but I wonder maybe it's more closer to horror. I don't know.
Well, I mean, but we've covered
But we've covered psychological
Yeah,
thriller. We are psychological thrillers.
we are.
And so yeah, we have Karen. She's, making breakfast with her husband, which I don't remember his name, TBH.
Dan or
Dan?
something.
Call him
That's
Pops.
probably wrong.
I ca-
Ray. His name is Ray.
That's right. I call him Pops in my notes. But
Pops.
Pops. And so he and her kind of having a little morning discussion. We
He's
have
setting rat traps.
setting rat traps,
I
which
guess
is
those were
kind of
mouse traps.
foreshadowing, because like it's kind of like what Laurie does for Michael, Mr. Mikey Mike. And so they end up what's her face comes down, Allison,
and that's spelled according to my subtitles Allyson.
yeah.
Allie,
Yeah, well,
son.
Allie. And then, it was weird because
I
at
didn't like
first
it.
I thought I was hearing Andy when they would call her like Allie, I guess, instead of Allison, and I was hearing Andy. And then I was like, wait, is her name Anderson? But this was at the beginning, and I also
That's
I don't
more
think
of a last name.
I don't think I watched with subtitles at this time either, so I didn't catch her name until later. I'm like, oh, this bitch's name is Allison. I've been calling her Andy the whole time. Anderson. I just shit works. Well, William Shatner and William Shatner
and Anderson sitting in a tree.
Yeah, and so what are they talking about? Because what's her name comes down.
All I know is that he's like, I dropped peanut butter on my penis.
Yeah, he's making dumb dad
And
jokes.
then his dad's. Then she's like, Dad, stop.
Yeah,
I don't. They're basically, she is getting inducted into the National Honor Society,
found it.
and she's asking if.
You invited grandma.
Yeah, she said, did you call grandmother?
Yeah,
She calls her grandmother,
Mhm.
like full on.
I think that's supposed to establish like a not so close like
Yeah, but like grandma.
Maybe she's just more formal with it. But I think that
Because
even
at
more.
the end, she's even yelling, grandmother, grandmother. And Andrew's like, who the fuck yells grandmother?
I think that
Like,
that
grandmama.
kind of helps to establish like not having as close as a relationship.
Yeah, I feel
Because
like I
if
just
you're
call her by her
close-
first name.
If you're close, well, that I guess that could work. If you're close with grandparents, usually you have like some sort of like popo, nana, whatever it is.
I have that, and I'm not close to mine.
Nana,
That's just what they're named.
nona,
No, I have a
Oh.
Mimi and a Gopo.
a Mimi, and a Gopo. See, that's yours. My nephews and nieces call my grandma, my mom and dad, Wita and Wito,
I love that.
Wita. And so, and they call, I think, their grandma on the other side Mimi and Papa, and
And a
then
papa.
the other one calls
have a
them
papa.
Titi, and like something like Tita or something like that. I don't know. But it's like, that's because they
Yeah.
have close relationships, so they have little code names because they've literally
Code names. I love that.
seen them since they were younger.
What's your grandparent code name?
What's your grandparent code name?
I love
Literally. And so I don't know. I think it just helps to establish that. And she obviously wants her to be there. And Karen off the bat is already giving like,
Oh, I totally called her.
Yeah.
She said she's not going to make it.
Yeah.
Clearly, she didn't call
She
her.
didn't even try. No. And so that's whenever Anderson is with her friends, and they're walking on the pavement on the sidewalk. And as people do, I guess they're going to school.
Yeah, giving very
It's
reminiscent
to
Laurie
Halloween.
and her friends
Yeah,
walking to school.
exactly.
Or walking from
They
school,
were walking
rather.
from school, yeah. And so this is early in the morning, and they are Dave and Vicky, and they're talking about.
I was like, Dave's going to die first because he's sitting there saying,
all that
Well,
shit.
really, so much worse is happening in the world. What's such a big deal about one man with a knife?
Yeah.
It's like,
You're gonna eat those
you
words.
just
Most
signed your
definitely.
death certificate, sir.
And so they end up talking about grandmother, and they're just kind of asking like about how, you know, the story that we all know from back in the day. And that's when we get that reference of like, wasn't he like her brother? And that's when it's like, oh no, that was just like made up, right?
Mhm.
Is
Yeah.
that yeah.
That's when it happened.
That's just made up, you know? And so they're talking. He wants to blow up a pumpkin in someone's yard,
Yeah.
which is like, okay, go off, sis.
That's
And
a little shithead. I
yeah.
would be real pissed if somebody blew up my
pumpkin
jack-o'-lantern.
that I carved out.
Yeah, I'd be like,
Took
that
time,
takes a lot of work. The
effort,
pumpkin
literally.
innards make me itchy.
Oh, do they do?
Yeah, I don't.
Mm.
They make I
I
get
mean,
little
I
like
haven't
rashes on my arms, but I
don't
think I just get little rashes on my arms in general.
I haven't carved a pumpkin literally though since like, I don't know,
It's a lot of work.
2014 maybe.
Mhm.
Last time I carved a pumpkin. And so they end up going to school. Why did I sound like that? They end up going to school. And that's where she meets up with her boyfriend Cameron.
Cameron,
Right? Yeah,
yes.
Cam.
And
Cam.
we learned that he is supposed to be meeting her parents tonight
Yes.
at the National Honor Society induction
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
And then also, so then this dude comes up, his friend.
Oscar.
Was he in Fear Street 78?
He was.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
like, he was the other counselor, like
Mhm.
Gabe or whatever.
Gets
Yeah.
his head cut off.
Cut clean off.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Uh-huh.
thought that was him. I was like, that looks exactly like him.
That is him.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool.
Poor guy. Yeah, he doesn't last long in this one either.
He's got a
Oscar.
pretty dope death, though.
He does. Yeah, it's a great way to start like really kicking it off into high gear because that's when things kind of turn. I feel like.
At first, I was like a little bit feeling like Michael's not taking his time, like putting these, really putting them on display.
Yeah.
Because, as soon as the people at the car station, the gas pump
Yeah.
and stuff, they're all just kind of left.
It's quick,
except for
and it's quick kills.
except for Jaw,
and they're
teeth
very
guy.
quick kills.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
then the lady in the house or the lady in both houses when he steals the knife and stuff. And
Yeah,
then
that's
the
true.
second lady,
Yeah.
both of them weren't like really done up, but then later
It kinda
on he starts
And then
he starts
when
putting a little more care into his presentation. He plates them very well.
Well, and I think you're definitely, if you want to see carnage, you'll get that in Halloween Kills because it's very much this one and Halloween Kills. It's like it's basically a twofer. It's
Yeah.
a one movie split into two parts because it's all
see.
going over the same night. A Halloween night. Yeah. And so
Okay, and so that's why they're in the hospital.
Yeah.
because- okay.
Yeah. So it goes yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't seen either of these.
And so
No, so
and then Halloween Ends, that's about to come out. It's taking place 4 years later.
today, or that'll be on.
That's the one
next
that's
one.
coming out in a week.
It'll come out on that same day.
or this week. Yeah,
Comes out on Friday,
Friday. You guys,
and it'll be
it's literally coming out this Friday.
Yep.
It's literally coming out.
So
this
you'll
I'm
hear
so excited.
our next episode. Halloween Kills will come out on Friday
Mhm.
for you to listen to while you're driving to Halloween Ends,
Yeah, and getting ready for the spooky spook
right.
showdown.
and we'll see who
Wins.
see who wins it.
Yeah. And so yes, that was Oscar. By the way, and he does not make it very far, like I said. Then outside we have what's her face? Addison. She is sitting in class, and
Allison.
it gives very like
Laurie was pulling a Michael here.
Exactly. Laurie
pulls a
is
Michael
pulling
a few
Michael
times.
a lot. She is standing outside the window, kind of just watching from afar.
While she's
And
in
Allison,
class.
Allison sees her, and then it's very reminiscent from the first Halloween. And she ends up going outside, and she meets up with her, and it's Laurie giving her the cash that she
The
got
$3,000
from the
so
interview.
nice.
She wants to give it to her, and she's telling her to like get out of town, basically,
Go to Mexico.
go away, because Laurie's anticipating something to happen. One, because she knows that Michael is getting transferred.
I kind of, whenever I was thinking of why Laurie didn't get out of Haddonfield, I was envisioning like her living overseas or something. And it felt very fun in my brain to see Michael like checking in first flight
And going overseas.
hopping on the plane and just like,
That's the next.
"Do-do-do,
That's
would
after.
you like some peanuts?
That's
Yes."
after Halloween ends.
Halloween abroad.
Halloween in space.
And abroad and then to space.
You can do all of it.
Yeah. We'll
That
go to
would be a
Russia
really good,
or something and then they'll
Is
shoot
that
him into a
6-part film series? Something like that.
TM.
Mm-hmm.
We get part of the
To be
cuts.
determined.
Thank you.
And so we are having conversation between them. She's basically telling her about, how she wants her to go to her dinner at night for their whatever, celebrating her NHS induction. And so after that, Laurie is basically, it's more or less not really like she's saying goodbye. Like she's basically making it seem like it's her like final goodbye with her. I guess she's not, I guess, anticipating wanting to go to the actual dinner, I guess, at night. She ends up going later, we see. But I think in that moment she was like, I'm not going to go to that. Like I'm going to be like prepping and doing other stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
And so it was a very much like, goodbye, I love you, here's money, like please go away.
And then Allison's just like, well, why can't you just get over it? Say bye to Michael, get over it.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, all y'all being so fucking hella insensitive.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And then she gives the line, which I liked. She said, if the way I raised your mother means that she hates me, but she's prepared for the horrors of this world, then I'm okay with that. And I was like, damn, Laurie a baddie. She really is. Because then we cut to her going,
and target practice. She is in the middle of the woods, I guess right behind her house or in the area behind her house. And she's shooting mannequins and like, you know, how people go into the woods and shoot beer cans and soda cans.
Little bottles.
And so we get, after that, what is happening? Loomis says that they should have killed Michael because is it a flashback, right? Or is it like just his voice? I don't remember.
Yes, it was just a flash, or I think it was his voice.
It's his voice,
basically.
Yeah.
They were like almost like playing over the tape or something, and because it's basically saying that death is the only solution for Michael. Like there's nothing else that's gonna happen, and they're putting Michael onto the transfer bus.
That's right. I'm
He's
like,
being
where
transferred.
are we at? Yes, he's getting transferred.
Yeah, and Dr. What's his name? Sharpay.
Oh, Dr.
Sartain. He's basically saying like, he's my patient. I'm going to see him
all the way through
until the end. So he hops on the bus, and in that moment I was like, well,
he up to no good.
Dead doctor gonna die.
Gonna die
is what I thought.
He gonna die. He gonna bite the bullet.
And then we see Laurie just sitting like right next to the fucking exit where the bus about to pull out, drinking like a little fucking one of those tiny liquor bottles that you get like behind the liquor counter.
Yeah, that are like, you know, $10.
Yeah,
the medium sized ones. Not even. It's like a 10.
No, they were like the like personal ones, like where you like throw it in your purse to add to stuff later.
We have a lot of those in our freezer at home. Nancy got a lot of them for her birthday.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And you know she don't drink that much, so like
is my little sandwich still in y'all's freezer? Y'all should eat it. It's probably so bad. Throw it away.
Sandwich? You had a sandwich in the freezer? When did you put a sandwich in the freezer?
When I came to pick you up from Chicago.
That's not there. I'm sure it's not there.
Okay, good. I was like, y'all should throw that away.
That was from April. That's
Gross.
Interesting. No, it's probably not there. I honestly,
good.
I don't. I've been in that freezer. I don't think I've seen it in there.
Good.
Wait, what kind of sandwich was it?
It's like a breakfast Sammy.
It's in there. It's literally in there. That's yours.
Plant-based meat. Yeah.
I thought that was Nancy's.
It's mine. You can eat it.
I've not been eating it because I was like, that's Nancy's. Ah, okay, cool.
And throw away that butter I asked you to take on that one time too.
I don't. That's there. That's not there. No, the butter's gone. Okay, so you're good. Yeah, I was like, oh, that shelf life is not. Yeah, that's not good.
Time to play. What did Caitlin leave in Josh's fridge?
But we have Laurie's a mess, kind of. Because you know she's drinking. She's kind of probably getting triggered every 2 seconds because she's put herself in this place where she's waiting for him to come out.
In the situation.
Yeah, and so she ends up going, and we have the gang is all together. They're gonna be having dinner at a restaurant. And we have Laurie showing up, and she's kind of got a little buzz going on.
I love the way she immediately walks up, starts drinking the fucking wine glass.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, that's mine."
Yeah, and obviously Karen is like, "Can we not start with this?
She's a Karen.
This is why we did not want to invite you. Like,
this is why we
I'm
never
so
keep in touch.
Sorry." Yeah, but it kind of ends up being bad. Not in like a blow up way, but just kind of Laurie's crying. They're all kind of like, ugh, this is awk. And then
she's saying, I saw him. I saw the shape.
Yeah. And then
which, if you remember, the shape is how he's referred to.
And so they end up basically.
But Laurie, I feel like that's kind of the first time you get it in a movie.
Yeah. They like only talked about it outside of it
mm-hmm.
as like, you know, the behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. And reference and like directors and stuff. And
he's the shape and the body. So curvy.
Hourglass.
Mm-hmm. And so she's outside. She's being consoled by her granddaughter.
He's really more built like a fridge.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he is. He's very whoop. And then we have Karen who's talking to Cameron, and she's basically just saying like, I'm, and Anderson, and she's talking to both of them, Allison, about her childhood and how, I never really described to you how like, I knew how to shoot by the age of like 12 and like 8. And I,
at 12 is when she was taken away.
That's right. And like I grew up knowing how to do all this shit because mom was crazy.
I lived my life in a cage.
Yeah, because mom was afraid of the world. And so I'm just like not going to
projected all of her paranoia neuroses
onto me. Yeah.
Onto me.
And so that's whenever she's like, talking about that. And I think Allison is kind of getting it a little bit more, but also like, like Karen, get the fuck over it. As much as you want Laurie to get the fuck over it, like get over it, bitch. Sorry. Okay. Anyways. And so.
Well, she is hella insensitive the whole time.
She is. She's very much a Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, sorry to anybody out there named Karen.
I'm not.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm like, I feel sorry for them.
Oh yeah.
No, like I'm not apologizing to them. Yeah. And so, we have Karen describing her childhood. We have the boy and the dad. Who's the boy and the dad? We're talking about Cameron and his dad.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Because of fucking course the bus
That's
crashed.
right. Yeah.
And the little boy just wanted to go to dance class.
Was that the little boy from Euphoria?
I have no clue because I've never seen that show.
It kind of looked like him for some reason to me, but maybe not. It was just a little boy with the buzz cut. But him and his dad, that's right.
Little white boy.
Yeah, he wanted to go to dance class, but they kind of get thrown off because the bus crashes that is carrying, obviously, Michael Myers. And the dad goes to investigate. And
he's like, stay here, son.
Yeah.
Call the police.
And the son does, and he gets the hold of them. So that's good. But they
need to know what mile marker or something that they're at. But he walks towards the scene.
And that boy's dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, we literally watched him die.
Did we?
We did.
Oh,
Michael
you're
chokes him
right.
out.
That's right.
Michael fucking chokes him out in the car.
Oh, poor guy. Yeah. And he ends up getting murdered. Yep. That's right. And that's when
he shot Dr. Sartain in the.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, that's why I'm like, where is that in my notes? That's right. He killed the kid. Yeah. He shot Dr. Because he's like, don't shoot. And he shoots him.
And and then he's like, fuck. Like,
yeah. And that's when I was like, is this kid from Euphoria?
Sartain should have said like, don't shoot. I'm gonna come out, but please don't shoot. And then came out instead of like popping up.
Yeah, at the same time doesn't quite
it's like when
work
you're
that
playing
way.
one of those little zombie games and stuff. Something pops up in front of you. Like I'm gonna shoot whatever comes up.
Yeah. I would I don't like guns. And so, anyways, at that point we have
a real gun. Scary. Only zombie guns.
Always, and that's whenever we have the sheriff getting a hold of the call maybe, and so that's whenever he goes and he's like, we got a 1050, and he's like yelling, is anybody good? And then he looks and he sees that the doctor's still alive. So that's one thing.
So they're able to save him, and we see the dad's neck fucking snapped.
It's not good. Wasn't good for dad.
It was like his little noggin got lifted off his spine, and his spine was still sticking up through his neck skin, but not actually breaking out. That. It was it was just really pushing on it, like it was about to burst through. It was fucking gross.
Yeah.
It gave me bent neck lady.
Oh,
you haven't seen it from Haunting of Hill House? Have you seen it? I have
the Hill House. Yeah, I've seen that bent neck lady.
Okay, good.
Yeah, she's my idol.
She is so good.
And so
they were coming out with a
new one finally, because I didn't like Bly Manor. I'm sorry. It was too.
That's what it was. You didn't like it.
It's too drama.
Yeah,
it's too
I didn't mind it.
Cry, ghost.
I just like that I had the same fireplace cover
as someone in it, so you're biased.
Yeah, I am. And I mean,
we're all biased.
I liked the way some of the ghosts looked and stuff, but yes, it wasn't as the Haunting of Hill House legitimately scared me at some point.
That was that one too. I remember I watched that one in 2018, right, when that came out. I think it was 2018. Yeah. That had some moments.
It did, like that bowling hat, whatever the fuck.
And even Bentnet lady. So it's now October 31st. It is officially Halloween. We are discussing that Judith and the Cemeteries are
That was so
I'm
funny.
just kidding. Where the cemetery is like they're famous basically because we have a tour. So the people are taking a tour. Oh,
It's Aaron and Dana.
And Dana, yeah, they're getting led by this lady who's telling them that people come from all around the world just to see this plots of Judith, and then we have
I typed in Michael watching them view Judith Meyer's grave is what I tried to type, and I had to. I remember totally I even had to go back and retype it because it was so wrong. But now apparently it's still wrong. It says Judith Amherst grave. Mm-hmm.
That sounds right.
Yep.
And so, we have Michael watching from afar. He,
creepy.
is being creepy as this tour guide is saying how her death was brutal and all this shit. And he's doing what he does best, and he's just stalking from afar. Mm-hmm. And she even like sees him. She's like, "What the hell?" Yeah, for real.
But she's like,
"Whatever."
Brush off. It's
like everyone else in this film.
Yep.
And so they have the mayor now. I believe he's the mayor, right? With the.
I think he was the sheriff.
He's the sheriff.
I think he's the sheriff, and Hawkins was. Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Was maybe wanted head honcho.
One of them. Something. And they're talking about what they found and how like Michael Myers was on the fucking bus. And they're like, oh shit. And he's like, how bad is this?
Babysitter murders, 1978. It's 40 years ago to this day.
Yeah.
And he's like,
this is going to be bad.
And then the sheriff's like, what are we going to do? Cancel Halloween? And it's like, yes,
laughing. Yeah.
Actually, you should.
No, Caitlin, they can't.
Okay.
You can't cancel Halloween. I'm sorry. I draw the line there.
Draw the line.
I mean,
people
psycho murderers
it's fine.
are out every single day. Are we going to cancel every single day?
Yes. Let's all stay inside our house and not ever leave anything and live in a hole. Let's live in a bunker.
If everybody just stopped buying things and shit for literally 2 days, society would collapse because like capitalism. But like I want it to happen. Yeah. I want anarchy. I want us to burn, but like in a fun blue flame. Oh, you know what the funniest thing happened today?
Business. We run small business.
I know.
Josh.
Do you want to know? But if everybody was burning, there would be nothing to like. We wouldn't have to. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll outfit you.
If we're all in the same boat, it doesn't matter. Apocalypse. If we're all in the same boat, it doesn't matter.
That's true.
You know what I mean? But you know what? Guys, listen to this. You want to know what the funniest thing that happened to me today was? It's so funny.
Is it?
It is so funny. I saw an old friend's mom who came into my work today, and she was like talking to me, and I'm like, oh, where's my such and such friend? And she's like, she is doing this today, and I'm like,
I thought you were gonna say she's dead.
No, she's not dead. R.I.P. To anybody dead today. And so she told me, she said, Danny, I'm mentioning names. So sorry.
I'm sorry, I just snorted. Okay, let's cut all that out.
No, we're going to keep it all.
In your name.
No, keep it all, you guys.
And bleep it.
So anyways, basically, we're talking about what is my friend doing today? Oh, my friend is she's doing this. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. And she's like, you know what? In another weekend, she's going to be doing this and this for that. And I'm like, oh, what's the event? And she's like, it's for, and she's taking a while. And she's like, I can't remember. And I'm like, it's okay. And she's like really trying hard to remember. And she's like, it's for your alphabet thing. And I'm like, and immediately I bust out laughing because I know what she's talking about. Oh. She's talking about for the LGBTQ plus. She said for your alphabet thing.
Your alphabet. Oh.
And it was like, oh my God. I knew exactly
her.
What she was
remember
thinking about
the correct
because she's
letters.
like, she like kind of softened her voice and was like whispering, your alphabet. And I'm like, I get it. For the gay.
For the gays.
For the gay. For the homo. Okay, anyways. And so Michael Myers ends up basically, I guess, making his way downtown. He ends up going to this gas station that the podcasters are at. And it's real funny because we like see it's kind of happening in like side eye shots, like out of frame, like he's walking out of a truck, obviously the one he stole from, or not just kid. Like, their vehicle. And then he's making his way into the building. And it's funny because we have Aaron who's like pumping gas and he looks at that lady and it's that look that she's watching. Like, and she's like,
she's watching all of it go down.
Yeah.
Fucking church lady not saying shit.
Literally. And but she does with her eyes because she's like
shifty.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. She darts them real fast. And it's like the intention of like the way it looks. And he's just kind of like, what the fuck? And so anyways, we have Miss what's her name?
Dana
Drake.
She goes in and she's got, again, this fucking bathroom has the coolest fucking soap dispensers.
Oh,
How
those
come
upside down.
I
soap
did, I
dispensers.
never
It's like
see
goblet
I've
soap
never
dispensers.
seen one.
I used to have those in like old schools, like because they're really old. It's like
Mine
very
never had
vintage.
one.
Those are very old
Those
style.
are so cool.
I
Yeah,
feel like
so
that's
many of the movies. Like
I feel like that's
Scream
very
had
like
it.
I feel like it's very 90s.
Well, I won't.
I went to a poor school, so they still had those.
Well, my school was brand new, but we were all poor still. They just built a new school.
Poor is relative.
Mm.
Yeah, we're all doing a lot
Well, I guess
better than
not
we probably
everyone
think we
was
are.
Poor.
Yeah. And so
I was poor.
yeah, I feel that. And so we have her in the bathroom. The bathroom is disgusting. It's grody. There's filth everywhere. There is literally
Can I use the loo?
the loo because she's British.
British.
Or well, who knows? She could be
I
from
don't
any of
know.
the provinces that the great queen R.I.P. was a
R.I.P.
part of or over. But anyways, she goes in. She's
I
obviously
seen
in
you
one
the
of the
TikTok about
stalls.
her trying to colonize heaven.
I can see
That
that.
was really funny.
That is hilarious. No, I haven't seen it, but I want to see it now. And so we have her.
She in hell.
She's colonizing hell, and so
Say not gonna allow that.
who knows? He'd probably
He'd
just
probably
allow
be
it
like,
for fun,
Fucking run it. Let's
Yeah.
see, bitch. Let's see.
literally for fun, because you know it'd be chaos.
He's like, I'm gonna sit back. Watch.
And so we have her in the restroom. She's trying to go. Poor thing gets interrupted because the Michael Myers comes in,
Mhm.
and we know it's him because he's walking all heavy footed, and she's
We got
kind of
the
like,
boots and we got that iconic blue jumpsuit. He picked the perfect place. He knew what he was going for.
yeah, because he
He
obviously
said, we got to
he's-
have the
he-
right look for this event.
He did, and he stole that from the mechanic who he had just killed.
Mhm.
So it's just like right on point. Like it's like not even like it wasn't like even made for him for this. He literally got it by murder.
Yes.
So it's like even
Just
more.
exactly how he
it
did the
just
first
adds
time.
more juju into the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
so
because he stole a car mechanic's jumpsuit
Oh,
the
that's
first time.
right,
He killed
yeah.
him on the side of the road, left
That's
his
right.
truck.
it's true.
And so he was like, well, I got to
Let's do
stick
it
to
again.
They're not going to know it's me if I change my outfit now. So he was like, gotta find another car
It's
mechanic.
anonymous.
Gotta kill them. And let's just talk about this the guy at the counter.
I want Michael the musical. I just not thought about it. That just the
I
way you were
would
saying
love
that right
that.
now, and I just like jazz hands.
Michael
like,
the musical in space.
in space, all knives,
All
knives for fingers.
Yes, it's just fucking Freddy Krueger now.
Literally. Aw.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. There's no dreams though, so it's not Freddy
Michael
Krueger.
and Freddy have a baby.
That would be cute. But Michael finally dies, and then Jason has to come and be like part-time spouse wife. What's it called?
Stepdad.
Stepdad. That's what they're called. Yeah.
Stepwife.
I don't know.
Stepford son. No.
Something. Isn't that a band? Mumford and
Mumford
Sons. That's what I
Where
was
are we
thinking.
going? This is chaotic.
So anyways.
But the way that he fucking smashed that man's head in on the table, that was when I was
Yes.
like, oh shit.
Gotcha.
Like, this was when I was like, okay,
Oh,
now
this
these
is the
deaths
Michael
are
that I
getting
love. Yes,
more
that's what I
intense.
want.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's beating Aaron up to filth.
Mhm.
Or are you talking about the dude that was at the attendant?
Yeah,
The
how he
attendant,
like
yeah.
curb smashed his fucking jaw on the table.
Yeah.
And then collected his little teeth. And the way he just pops his little hand over and goes,
Drops him over so that way Miss Dana Spade can see it.
it's raining teeth.
And she
That's fucking
yeah.
hardcore. That's metal.
It's
That's metal as
raining
fuck.
teeth.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. And so she's like, what the fuck is that? And then she's like, oh,
What the
fuck, there's a
fuck?
teeth. But just fast enough for him to be like, bang, 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 bang. So he's obviously like freaking her out.
Yeah.
She tries to attempt to crawl under. That's whenever we have what's his face going in to look for her.
Yeah.
But he's like, what the fuck?
And
Everybody's
he
dead.
really does smash Aaron's head against the wall.
He smashes Aaron's
Like,
head
holy
against the wall.
shit.
He does it repeatedly.
I had
He
to turn
is
my head away a little bit.
brutally beating this guy.
Y'all know I don't like
But
heads getting
it's
smashed.
the way that we then go to him. You know, it's the whole, cat and mouse. He's trying to get Dana. Eventually he does get her and he kills her. He does this, chokes
We
her
got-
out,
we
breaks
got
her.
a
You get a little
choke and
snap,
lift.
like a little, and we get that little sound they make whenever like someone's neck snaps. Do it again. Ooh,
I don't
fresh.
think. I
That's
think
a
it's
fresh kill.
probably a little bit more than that. But
We're add some, definitely some, what's it called? I'll think about it later.
okay.
And so, but it's the way that Michael walks out. And I don't think Aaron actually died.
yeah, he
I don't,
was still
I think
from what-
badly beaten.
Yeah.
But I don't think he died.
He probably
There was no like official like,
did die though by the time the cops got
I
there.
think he was that badly. Like,
His
beaten.
face was, I mean, God, he was like,
He was like,
because if you just think about Michael's like brute strength,
that's evil strength. That's
Yeah.
devil strength.
I mean, I feel like if that is slamming your head into the wall
Yeah.
that many times, like 20 times, you're probably fucking dead.
But
I don't
yeah,
know.
they dead, and he literally all he really wanted was just his mask. He could have asked for it probably, but he just wanted his mask from them. So he ends up getting his mask, and so now he's
Excuse me. He can't talk.
He is.
I mean, he can talk, but he
that's
doesn't
true.
want to.
He could
So
have signed it out. The whole time he learned ASL.
that would have been cool.
I keep ASL. Like I don't know why I'm like I act like I know it. I'm like
I know
SL.
I don't know.
And so
I know. Okay.
we then have like on the news that they're missing patients, that people did, obviously the what's it called, the bus crash.
Yes.
And they're missing patients,
And
Laurie's watching
hearing this.
She's like, what the fuck, I knew this was gonna happen. And
She
so
said, I've been telling y'all. Y'all not listen.
Yeah. And so that's whenever we see that her island moves, because
Which
she
is cool.
is like, yeah, super cool. I want a basement like that with the
I know.
island moving. Super cool.
It's a little bunker.
Even the
Dope
way that it
little
like
under the island.
even the way
hideout.
that it like you hear it moving, it's like yeah. And so we see that she's basically prepared for doomsday. But more essentially, what's even worse than doomsday, Michael Myers. And so I literally put, I want one of those too for her island basement things.
That's cool.
And so yeah, we have Laurie going over to Karen's house, right? Because she's like, it's happening.
Yep. And she's
Y'all
like,
aren't ready. I broke in.
she pops down the stairs. You're dead.
Yeah, which makes perfect sense. Do it, because like she would have been dead.
Yeah.
And that's
she
whenever
just walks in like,
she's like,
anyone home?
oh yeah, and she's like, stupidity and ignorance is gonna get y'all killed. Yeah.
Because she said like your side window was open, your back door is like unlocked and stuff, and so like anyone could get in.
And that's whenever we have them being like, get out, we don't even want you here. Like she's literally getting kicked out.
She's like, y'all, they're like, y'all, you're crazy.
And so that's whenever we have now finally things are getting in motion. People are realizing like this is fucking Michael Myers, because the cops are at the gas station. They're like, fuck, we got three more bodies. I don't know, there was never confirmation on Aaron. I don't think at the point there
3 to 4.
3 to 4, 3.5.
3.5 bodies.
Yes. And so the kids are now trick-or-treating. They end up bumping into Michael. What?
These are the only people. No, because the sheriff, that other
Are you talking about all the people that are
I'm
dead?
trying to think the kill count.
Oh, at this point we got boy, son, officer.
And plus those 3.
The count, the 7 plus maybe Aaron.
Yeah.
So already.
8.
Oh, wait. Did he? Nope, not yet. Hasn't done that one yet. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have that happening. He bumps into the kids and immediately goes into another residence. He goes into their what is that called? A garage, and ends up getting a hammer.
Yes.
And
yeah.
because he got the hammer and the wrench.
And we get a nice little. We kind of get Frank Hawkins again.
Yeah, that's right.
Then we see the connection
At the
between him
hospital.
and Laurie Strode.
Yeah, because he's like, Laurie.
Well, whenever they're at the right there at the gas station.
Oh yeah.
Because she's watching from the like police line, and you make the connection like, okay, he knows who she is.
Yeah.
They're like on the same level.
And
because
this is the
I didn't make the
whose
connection.
daughter died.
Like, I couldn't remember.
In the first, Annie was his daughter.
Oh.
Annie was his daughter who
Why
died
he
in the
look
first
the
movie.
same age as Laurie? She didn't age well. It's stress.
Oh, that dude. My bad. No, I'm thinking of Annie's dad. I'm sorry. Remember? So you know the like kind of older heavyweight doctor officer who was like a security guard at the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
That's Annie's dad. He was the sheriff from the first movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, he's her
That's
dad.
cool.
But anyways, yeah, I'm sorry. You're talking about this sheriff. Yes,
Yeah.
they know each other. They are the same age, basically around the same age.
Because he was like a new officer and he was one of the first responders.
He's probably like 2 years older than her baby or something like that. He just graduated. I don't know. But he ends up going into, all of that had happened and gets the hammer, goes into the house, kills a lady because all he wanted was a knife.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what he did in Halloween 2. Right after he ran off from the place where Laurie Strode was, he walked into that like next door neighbor's house, killed her just to get the knife.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so he ends up, and then he sees a baby, but doesn't kill the baby.
Thank God.
The baby was voiced by Jamie Lee Curtis.
Is this a true fact?
It's a true fact. Little fun fact.
Why?
I don't know. They
That's
I guess
weird.
had her crying like a baby and then pitched it to sound like a baby. Yeah. So she did that.
Fuck. That's so weird.
I bet you could sound like a
love it.
baby.
Goo goo gaga.
I won't do it. I don't want to hurt the listeners' ears, especially if y'all have headphones in. Shout out to you if you have headphones in or listening to our voices in your ears right now. Like what? Sometimes
Oh yeah, I realize sometimes. We kinda scream.
like I cringe at my own voice when I'm listening back. I'm
How
like,
many?
"Look,
Okay, so
why'd I say
with
that
her,
like that?"
with him killing her, we were at 8,
Mm-hmm.
and then so 9 with him killing the lady in the house, right?
Lady in the house.
And then he's about to kill another lady in the house.
I wish you would have killed the baby, to be honest.
Her house was cool.
Oh,
Well,
was that problematic?
the next, yeah,
Sorry.
a little bit. But anyways,
It's fictional.
yeah.
Fictional baby.
So
Anyways.
he stabbed up next girl right in the fucking neck, and
Oh,
that was
dude,
cool.
that was good.
Yeah,
Especially because she's like, okay, sorry. Oh my God, what happened? And then she's like, I'll close my blinds. And then
yeah,
ting ting.
tink tink, and then she's right dead in the neck.
Yeah.
And then he just leaves her there, hanging over it. Her house was cute though.
It
I
was.
liked it. This was
part
when
of
I
the
was
decor.
Like, none of these people are being left like
Yeah.
super cool.
But honest, I mean, well, he doesn't
He had
really do
no-
that
he
until
had no
the
relation
yeah,
to
and he
them.
doesn't do that until the end of the original, anyways. When he does
it's
bring them all
true.
together. But yes, he ends up you know what? You get a call back to that in Halloween Kills. You'll see him doing his little fun. He starts having fun.
Good.
Yeah, and so he ends up. Going, yeah, oh yeah, you got me there. He went to the house, he killed that girl. It's giving very like when they were, oh yeah, that scene also was giving me whenever she was on the phone was like whenever Annie had got the call and was like, oh wait, what's going on? So it was like also just another moment where it was like, oh, this is like kind of
nice
like, little callback.
Yeah.
And so these kills are pretty random, it seems, at this point, but we'll find out later that they aren't actually random.
Oh,
You
really?
do find that out. Well, not by like person, but by like direction.
Of what? Okay. I see
Yeah.
where
He's going in a general direction, and they just happen to be in the way.
in the way.
Yeah.
I see.
And so he ends up the twist is that he is Bonnie and she is Clyde. I don't know.
Oh
why.
yeah. So we get to the Halloween
the
party.
Bonnie
we
Clyde
see
with the
that
twist. That's
Cameron
right.
is Bonnie and Allison is
It's
Clyde.
So they
Yes.
have like a little ginger bend moment with their Halloween
Weirdly enough,
costumes.
we went to Twisted Root for like before to watch the game, and our little tracker thing was Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, was it? That's cute. And so they're at the Halloween dance while her friend Vicky is babysitting. She's kind of talking to Vicky on the phone. She's like, she wants her to come over because Dave is coming over and they want to like smoke that green stuff, the alakazam, which is apparently weed, because even the little boy is like, I know you're talking about smoking weed.
And he's like, that's not allowed.
Yeah.
And the banter between them was so funny.
It's funny. I love it. Yes.
She's like, now you're like my 10th favorite kid that I nanny. They were so fun. I loved it.
They were very cute. He's very cute. He had a very like great role because he's like the only smart character in a scary movie.
Yeah.
And so that's whenever she's talking to her friend on the phone. She ends up going back to find Cameron, and Cameron is smooching on another babe. Well, not okay. In his defense, that girl definitely seemed more like she kissed him.
Yeah, she was coming on to him, but he was kind of smiling a lot. And
also you don't, and people don't just like there was a lead up.
Yeah.
Even no matter how nice you are, I don't know.
It's not like she ran up to him, went and then ran off. Yeah,
it seems like there was probably a little flirtation going on.
He was being a fucking asshole, and then he gaslights the shit out of fucking Allison.
Bro, the way he gaslights her immediately and on sight, I was like, oh no, yes, shit, don't do that. She literally saw you. Literally saw you.
He's like, I don't know what you think you saw.
Yeah.
She just whispered in my
it's
ear,
so
and I was
bad.
like, ooh. And then he takes her phone and throws it in the fucking pudding.
Oh, for me,
he's like,
honestly,
you know what?
I don't know how I would have reacted. I think honestly,
I would have fucking been throwing hands.
Cops called. Yeah, because I would have been beating someone up.
We're also
And I've never been in a
crazy.
fight before.
Oh, I have.
I've never been in a fight. But I think because usually things don't, I've never had anybody do that to me before, honestly. So that's just like, but I feel like if they would, I would be like,
never with a partner. I don't think I've ever thrown hands.
Yeah.
Had hands thrown at me.
Oh,
LOL.
That's a whole different podcast.
And
that's the therapist.
Then
he's a dick.
Dave comes over to
smell that alakazam.
Yep.
Yeah.
With
Vicky.
Yep.
And they end up
They're like making out on the couch and shit. And she says like you're gonna get dry fucked tonight because he tattoos 1031 onto
that's right
18 onto his arms.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah,
but whatever.
They're horny. They're just horny teens. They're very horny. And I was like, dry fuck? Oh god damn. Ouch. But anyways, the boogeyman is in the house because that's whenever the kid is like, the boogeyman is in the house. I saw
the way he comes out and he's like, so we're talking ghouls and monsters now. And he's like, shut up, Dave. I saw him, the boogeyman. He's in the fucking house.
Yeah.
And then she's like, we'll go check. And he's like, send Dave first.
Yeah.
Send Dave up there.
And so she ends up doing it. And then she's like, oh my god, what are you doing in here, mister? And she's obviously faking it. And so she ends up putting the boy back in the bed. Right? He ends up no, he's still in the stairway. My bad, because that's whenever he actually pops out. Michael pops out.
Well, I think she actually did put him back in the bed.
Right?
And she was trying to, he said, can you close the closet door?
Oh, yeah.
And she tried to close the closet door, but it wouldn't close because Michael's body is in the way.
The shape.
And then he
the shape of it all just comes out.
And the little kid's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Runs downstairs.
Julian, that's his name. He is hilarious.
Julian. And then
Julian runs down to get help. And it's like, he basically runs out because he's like, there's a killer upstairs and you're dead.
Yeah. He's like, don't go back up there. You're going to die.
Yeah.
And I think because basically he was like, yeah, Vicky's dead.
Yeah.
Like,
and even Dave is like, fuck this. But he ends up going up there as we see later. Yeah.
And, then the cop is coming up and he's like
immediately the sheriff finds Vicky and she has the sheet over her head
and I was like, nice, a ghost person.
I
loved it.
Just like exactly. Another callback. And then
I thought the eyes were blood. I was like, damn, did he gouge out her fucking eyes? No. Dope.
And then we have David's dead as well and he's stuck up on the wall just like in the first movie too.
Just like in the first
another
movie
callback.
as well.
And it just goes to show that Michael Myers only knows how to do like one thing and one thing only.
I know. I was like, he's making him look real unoriginal.
But
don't worry, he's got
himself.
the jack-o'-lantern head later. That was good.
And so then we have the Dr. Sartain explaining how Michael the bus accident basically to the cops, right? And then that's whenever I'm like,
he only knows how to keep killing and to keep moving.
And that dude is a dumbass, the head honcho who's wearing the hat. Honestly, I thought he was a mayor at one point, but maybe not. And so
I don't know.
Then he is basically Dr. Sartain is the new Loomis, basically.
Yes.
Because I remember them mentioning that.
And then they mentioned how Hawkins was the officer who kept Loomis from killing Michael.
He was the first responding
time.
officer that night.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, damn. And
he
then,
made Loomis, spare his life. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's now you can tell that Hawkins is like, yeah, I'm not going to fucking make that same mistake again.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, if we have to kill him, like we will kill him.
Most certainly. And so that's but also I was like, this doctor is crazy.
Yeah.
He's like, he mustn't be harmed.
It's like, no, bitch, he's fucking murdering people.
And Laurie and the cops end up showing up at Karen's house because they're like, bitch, it's going down. Where the fuck is Allison? And she's like, well, she's at the dance, but we can't get a hold of her. And so that's whenever and at the same time Allison was walking home with Oscar because Oscar's like talking to her and like trying to be like, oh my god, I can't believe he would do that. He's super friend zoned at this point. But he ends up trying to kiss her. And
I was like,
she's like, what the fuck? And he's like, ugh. And I'm like, Oscar,
he's
you
like,
really
I'm really drunk. The girls were feeding me guacamole.
I got horny.
Like I was chubbing, like simming chub. Like,
oh god.
I was like, ooh, Oscar,
like, digging your hole deeper.
You just need to stop talking.
And
everything that's happened is
then we get him being on someone's yard property, and he thinks that the person of the owner of the house is coming out to like be like, get off my lawn, kid. But it's really Michael, and he's like really creepy
because he's pretty drunk, and
Oscar,
so he doesn't realize.
Yeah,
and it's also Halloween, so he's like, maybe this motherfucker's in costume. And he's sitting there asking him all these questions, being like, have you ever really liked a girl and you couldn't have her? And it was like, yeah, actually he has. It's called Laurie Strode.
Literally. And then he ends up, the lights go off, and then as soon as the lights come on, Michael starts to like slice at him, and he ends up getting him, I think. And then
he does.
And then he's like, what the fuck? And he's like trying to get away, but he can't get away, and he's screaming for Allison, but she's like, whatever, because she's thinking like, whatever. Like, oh, yeah. And so she ends up walking back, but not before Michael can do his thing and like really murder the fuck out of him.
Yeah,
and then,
I would have not ran towards the fence, but that's just me.
Yeah, right. Because he's trying to get away, but Michael kills him and then like puts him on the fence.
Yeah,
yeah,
right through his
brutal,
chin.
Really fucking brutal.
And it like comes up through his like behind his back teeth and shit.
Yeah,
it was I was like, oh, okay, here we
And
go.
I'm like, Allison does end up coming in to see him, but I'm just like, she couldn't have done anything anyways to save his life. He was done for.
Yeah,
and it's the way that she like fucking screams and then runs off. It is so funny to me. It's like a very.
It was giving very old school scream
Yes,
queen,
yeah.
like over the top dramatic slasher.
And then the
scream.
run.
Yeah.
Scary movie vibes to me, like comedic.
Yes.
And yeah, so we have Karen. She's being a Karen at this point. I remember I'm like, shut the fuck up, Karen.
And then that's exactly what Laurie says. She yells like,
Shut
Karen,
the fuck up.
and then she's like, oh, okay, they all stopped. Yeah.
And then we find Allie.
They pick her up and they're like, lock your goddamn doors. And I was like, yeah, lock your goddamn doors. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm biggest proponent of locking your doors.
Yeah.
Guess what? When I walked out of my house after this, back door was unlocked.
Wow.
Who am I?
I can't say that I haven't done that before because I've done that a lot. It happens.
Never do that.
I'm sorry. And so we have right after that, Laurie is ready. She is getting ready. She is on the move. She's like, I'm gonna go take care of this. Y'all protect my daughter, protect my granddaughter. I'm gonna go finish this. Basically. Yeah. Because they are at this point too, what's his face? Dr. Sartain and the sheriff are together and they had picked up Hawkins. They picked up Allie. They're in the vehicle and they see Michael. And that's whenever they're like, oh my God, he's right there.
Hawkins is like, buckle up, bitches.
Because he's literally, they're going to mow him down, which is kind of also a funny callback to Halloween 2, I think. Or is it 1?
I think it's 1 where they run
the
over.
boy.
Yeah.
And they think it's Michael.
Who's supposed to be
sad.
Laurie's date, right?
Love interest.
Yeah.
Her, who she thinks is cute.
And he fucking blows
She's
up.
smitten. Yeah. And so anyways, they literally hit the fuck out of Michael.
They did.
He's on the ground. And that's whenever we have Hawkins going out to check on him with Sartain.
And he's like ready. He's like, I'm going to blow his fucking brains out. He's like, I'm about to double tap
and
this
I'm
bitch.
like, blow his brains. And then the doctor, oh my God, what the fuck, ends up attacking Hawkins.
Yeah. I was not expecting that.
I didn't either. Yeah.
I was like, what
even
the
rewatching
fuck?
it, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that happens.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he was giving me like pretty like sus vibes, but I wasn't expecting him to go as far as to like fucking stab the cop in his jugular.
Yeah.
And I mean, he kills him. And then the way he's just sitting there like touching the mask was so weird. And then the way he pops up and he's got a fucking mask on.
Oh yeah. And then he's also like, this is the way it must feel to kill.
Yeah, and he's like, so that's how it feels.
Yeah,
and stuff. And
crazy
so
guy.
at this point, I was like, is he possessed by Michael?
Yeah, stupid.
Shit? I don't know.
So stupid.
He fucking Allison's of course in the back. She's locked in the back.
I hate it. And
always is.
And then Michael gets thrown back in there with her.
Yeah, and he's like, make room for my patient.
Yeah,
and,
and also it's like, how much room is back there? Because Michael's a big guy. He's like over 6 foot for her to like have like. I'm like, what? But anyways, he's like had to have been on her lap. But I guess he wasn't. He was just right next to her.
Yeah.
And so
he gotta been
he's
well
like
enough,
slumped.
I guess.
And so yeah, she's back there fucking with Allie. And then that's whenever he runs over the sheriff driving off. And I'm like, damn, the poor sheriff. Yeah, it's crazy. Sheriff is dead. Sheriff is gone. I love that for you. And so that's whenever they start having, I'm like, what is this bread conversation? The bread convo?
Oh, the banh mi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of a little comedic.
Levity.
I don't know. It reminds me of Scream 4 when what's his face from the OC or whatever, who was also in Jennifer's Body.
Oh, yeah.
They were talking outside and then they end up getting murdered. Yeah. And then so we're going back and, oh, God, fucking. Yeah, the banh mi situation. I don't know. I feel like it was just a nice comedic, like
yeah, for sure.
situation.
And then after that, that's whenever she was like, I was like, why does it lie to him and get free? Because she's lying to Dr. Sartain, basically saying, you know, like
he said something.
He said something to me, but I can only tell you if you stop the car.
Yeah, he said exactly one word, and I'll tell you if you let me go.
Yeah.
And so he finally
he stops, but as soon as he stops, fucking Michael
comes back to life.
Coming back to life. I'd be fucking terrified because you just hear him breathing.
And he smooshes fucking Dr. Sartain. He like.
Yeah.
Fucking
fucks him up.
Donkey kicks the seat in and then pulls him out and oh God.
And then he squishes his head like nothing. You hate heads being squished.
Yes. He fucking smashed his head like a goddamn pumpkin.
Yeah.
My
mush
toes were curled for so long. I was like, ugh.
Triggered. Sorry.
Gross. It was so gross.
And Allison gets away. She ends up running through the woods.
She does, like a fucking idiot.
Because she's close to her mom, her grandmother's house.
Yeah, but I would have stayed to the road.
True. Yeah. Lights, everything. Not go in the woods.
Yeah.
And she ends up
unfamiliar woods.
Yeah. And so she's up running through there. But so we kind of have her like whatever. That's her own story. It's happening. And so back at the grandmother's house where we have Karen Ray and Laurie held up. That's whenever Ray thinks the cops come, because obviously Michael stole Hawkins' car.
Yeah.
And he ends up showing up.
Rolls
and,
up. Boop, boop.
and that's whenever Ray's thinking like, oh, like, hey, cops. And he's trying to talk to them, but it's not them. And it's a dead cop inside the car.
The way that
They look
I
fake.
don't know. I would have, if I knew that this was going on and a car rolled up and it like
Nobody
the
came
police
out
and they weren't
and they didn't come out immediately.
Yeah, I would have been like, I think I'm gonna go right back the fucking side.
Yeah, stay inside, one, because they're either something bad happening, or two, like they're just there for patrol. So why do you got to go talk to them?
Yeah,
Like, they're just
you
there
don't have to talk to them.
Yeah.
And then he gets up and he puts his face close to the window. I was full on expecting Michael to put his
same.
fucking hand through, because he totally
Yeah.
could just put his hand through glass. But you see a kind of a little, it looks like a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay,
What the
okay.
fuck?
And then
he's already outside of the car.
opens the door.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
yeah, hell yeah, you got a fucking jack-o'-lantern made out of the other officer's head.
Yeah.
The other officer stabbed
Jack-o'-lantern
with
head.
that little, with the same thing the Dr. Sartain stabbed the sheriff with, and then he's got the other, like his partners, the peanut butter and jelly banh mi guy.
Guys, you just gotta watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on his fucking flashlight, and he really hollowed it out.
Yeah.
He made a little skin mask and
Everything with the whole 9 yards. Where he found the time, I don't know, but
I don't.
he
I
did
mean,
it.
it was very fast. He's very efficient.
He is.
We know this.
Supernatural.
We're a Michael fan club.
Yeah, and then Pops is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
he
dead.
just chokes him out.
He just literally is dead, and just we get the, what's it called, the little
Yeah.
neck snap. But yeah, OMG Michael. That's whenever at this point we have Karen, not Karen, sorry, Laurie. She's like, oh my God, he's here.
Yeah.
He's here.
Because as Ray is getting murdered,
Yeah.
he
That's right.
discharges the gun. And so then they are alerted basically.
Mhm.
And then that's when Laurie's like, oh, and so she's like, Karen, you get downstairs. And
Yeah.
Laurie's looking through her fucking door. And speaking of which, okay, the door is so great for keeping someone out. But clearly, actually, no, it's not. But could you imagine like if you were inside and you're trying to get out with all those fucking locks?
Yeah, no, it'd be horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is a trap. It's a trap.
It is a trap.
It's good for keeping stuff out, but if that thing actually gets in that you're trying to keep out, but then you're trapped in there with it, like, and you're screwed.
Dead. Yeah. But she
it's
was
the way
intending to trap him.
well, it doesn't even matter for him because he doesn't fucking need locks. Homeboy
Yeah.
just fucking smashes through that fucking door
And he
like
grabs her.
wraps around her,
And he gets both hands through.
Mhm,
'Cause
yeah.
it's got like two little window panes, and the way he's just
holding
fucking
her, yeah, smashing her head against the wall. Poor Laurie's already going through it. It's only been like 5 seconds.
I was like, fuck. I was like, she gonna die.
Yeah.
But not before she gets
And
that
Karen's
little gun
screaming, and I'm just like, shut up, Karen.
up. We don't have time for you.
Yeah,
Your
and she
mom
gets
is
the gun
getting
cocked.
attacked.
Yeah, and she ends up shooting him in the hand.
Yep. Shoots his little fingies off.
Yeah. And then she goes to go again, and we're assuming she tries to shoot him in the head, but like he's not there because she's like, what the fuck? And he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But he actually gets in to the fucking house. And then at that point, there's a little gnat there. It was bothering me. He actually gets into the house. And I think at this point, it just becomes a little bit of cat and mouse, a little bit.
I don't understand why she shoots through the roof. Like, I was like, girl, he might not have known you were down there.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
could have been okay.
Yeah.
And then she's like, pew! And I was like, bitch.
Just goes to show.
know.
But you never know when you're in a horror movie. I don't know how I'd act.
That's true.
And so we have, I feel like at some point he was in the closet, right? Or she goes to look in the closet, but he's
Yeah.
not actually in there.
She goes and follows him upstairs, and he's made a nice little staged place. He's like, he's arranged the mannequins to point towards the closet door
Yeah.
where there's a bloody handprint. So of course Laurie's led to believe that
He's
he's
in there, yeah.
the closet.
Yeah.
And because we get this whole scene of her going up where she thinks he's in multiple closets,
Yeah.
basically.
This is
'cause
callbacks to whenever she
when
was in the
she
closet.
was in the closet, yeah. And then she opens the closet, and he's stuffed Ray up there.
Yeah.
Nice
Oh,
little-
Dad. Pops
like,
Ray.
like a carry-on luggage in an
Yeah.
airplane.
Ray was really stepped up there. She's like, oh, fuck, it's Ray.
And then she turns back around and is like, fuck, well, where is he? And you can
Yeah.
kind of see his legs sitting there behind one of the mannequins.
Yeah.
And then
But I love how he just fucking runs up to her. Yeah. It's so fucking fast.
it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. It's so fucking funny too. The way he just runs up on her. I don't know. I laughed, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
I
that's
laughed
whenever.
at this next part where
Yeah.
Allison gets to the like little basically mannequin graveyard of
Yeah.
Laurie's shooting range.
Oh, Allie, yeah, and then she's like freaking out. She's like, "What the fuck?"
And
yeah,
you
it's
basically
scary.
get the shots of like different mannequin heads being like, eek, eek,
Yeah.
eek. I don't think it was that actual sound, but
It's
that's
not,
what it gave.
but that's what it does give. I feel that
was
kind of
very
like
cheesy.
in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Whenever she's on the bone floor and just like
Yes,
looking
and
at
the-
everything
Yeah, the bird room
for like 20
thing.
minutes.
And
And
it's like,
so
go get up.
yeah, Michael fucking like almost obliterates her with his run at least.
Mm-hmm.
And that's whenever they fight and they're getting into it. And she ends up falling off the balcony, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Because he pushes her off, and I was
Yeah.
like, Michael probably being like, "How's it feel to fall off a second-story balcony, bitch?"
Just like him.
And then
Literally.
she pulls another Michael.
Yeah, whenever her body's gone because
looks back down,
goes
she's
looking
gone.
looking for her. But at this point, Allison is back as well, and she's looking in the house and she's calling out for grandmother, and mom. But then her mom is like, "Oh my God, no, I'm here! Like I'm down here." And so that's whenever she does end up she doesn't get down there, right? They come up. Karen comes up.
Karen comes up, but
Yeah.
then she does take her
She
down
gets her
there,
down there,
and
yeah.
they successfully close the hatch before
That's right.
Michael gets
Yeah.
down.
But he's like, and he ends up noted like they're
He
down
figures
there.
it out,
Yeah.
and he's like, "I'm gonna rip this fucking island off its hinges,"
Mm-hmm.
and
And I was like, oh shit, he might get in.
yeah, and then he successfully
Opens it.
does open it.
And I love that's how whenever Karen is very much like,
she goes into like
I'm so like
action mode.
yeah, like she's eating this role. She's like, I'm so helpless, I can't do it. I can't kill him,
sorry,
Mom, I
Mom.
need you. Because I think it's also too a good like reference in the callback of like knowing, as she knows that like Michael feeds off of fear. Like he feeds off that like knowing you're scared of him.
Yeah.
You know? And so she gets him to come up and she's like, gotcha.
The way her demeanor immediately changed.
Changes, yeah.
Her face dropped, and she's like, "Gotcha," and she immediately pulls that trigger,
Trigger.
and
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
And of course, it does nothing.
No, it does nothing, of course.
But then Laurie's behind
another
him.
Michael.
Happy Halloween, Michael. Iconic.
Yeah, iconic.
Stabs
I love
him.
how you can just see her face. Yes. And she's in the background. She comes up, she stabs him. And that's whenever we have her yelling at the girls to come up.
Because he fell
Yes.
down the stairs.
Yeah, that's right. And so she's yelling at them to come up.
Allison
makes it up.
upstairs.
Karen is right behind her, but she gets, pulled
Not
on by her
before.
leg, obviously.
I was sitting there and I was like, waiting.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
And it's
there
girl
it is.
power time. And they all start trying to get their stabs in. And then
Allison
Allison
stabs him?
gets her stab in.
I was like, hell
He ends
yeah.
up letting go of Karen and she gets pulled down there. Or he falls back. And that's whenever Karen gets up. And then that's whenever Karen is like, it was not a cage. It was a trap. Yeah. And they end up locking him in there with the knives, swords coming out.
Yeah, it was like wrought iron, like things just making a cage all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So really well planned out. Like
Yeah. And he's down there and
Laurie
that's
Strode,
whenever we
booby
have
trap queen.
Laurie getting all the like gas shit ready to light them up, and they end up lighting it up, catching everything on fire.
And I was like, okay, but like we already done that. and
Right.
It didn't work.
Yeah. And so
Didn't
anyways,
work.
he ends up, it all gets set ablaze.
Yeah,
And,
set ablaze, and then you see it does pan back down there, and he's not there.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's a little open ended. So we're like, is he not? Because then we have, of course, like them getting transported to a hospital. They're going to the hospital. Laurie's obviously, she's fucked up.
yeah.
Laurie's fucked. I don't know if she's gonna make it to the H. You don't know. And then that's whenever we have
Get a nice little pan in on the knife.
a nice little pan in with the knife, and that's whenever basically it's
ends.
the end of the movie.
It goes to the credits,
Yep.
and real good.
And that is 2018's Halloween.
Yeah, that's right. So
Mhm.
how many
Booze.
boos?
I give this one a 4.5. I really liked
4.5.
it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really well told. I liked how we got, the callback characters, all the callbacks throughout, where it's like, oh, I love that from the first movie. I love that. But they like one-upped it almost in a way.
They did. Yeah.
And like they did something the same, but gave me a little different. So I like it. And I thought it was well paced. I thought Michael Myers did good. It was like just enough kill, but not like too much. And I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good movie.
I agree. I think 4.5 as well. I really came in with very low hopes for this because I remember you saying that Halloween Kills was not your favorite.
Nope.
At all. And so I was kind of thinking in my head, because I hadn't watched this, as I said, and so I was kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then I liked it.
Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I liked
That's
it a lot.
good, yeah.
The deaths were super cool. Even though I'm not a fan of heads getting smashed in, it was still super fucking dope.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it was that like curb stomping the man on the fucking counter and then dropping the teeth. That was fucking awesome.
There's a lot of good moments in this movie.
Yeah, that was fucking hardcore. And I was like, ooh,
If they would have made this one and left
different.
it with this one, I would have been like chill.
Yeah.
But, gotta make more money. So
That's true. And so, well, as we said earlier, we will be covering Halloween Kills, and this was a listener request
By
from
Britt.
Yes. And so we'll be reading her review on that episode
Next week. Yep.
But yeah, and then on
episode.
Friday.
Sorry.
Yeah. And then, as we said, Halloween Ends comes out
This Friday.
Friday. Yeah,
Come
this
on,
Friday.
you guys.
So get ready. That's why we're covering it this week. And then we are going to continue our Halloween series with the next week. We're covering Conjuring 1
and then Conjuring 2.
And those are kind of like
Our
little
picks,
our
yeah.
picks because they're classics and we fucking love them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last week to round out Halloween, we'll be covering Mama, which is a listener request from Jeff, and then Trick or Treat. So
Yeah. I'm
get
super
ready
excited.
to join us on the rest of our spooky season week. So excited.
Yes.
Have you come up with a Halloween costume yet?
I'm working on it. I've got a few. I've got inspirations. And I'm going to kind of mix them all together.
I think I know what I'm going to be too.
Don't tell it. Don't say it.
Okay.
Don't speak it into existence.
It's excited. It's
Yes.
funny. It's going to be
Ooh.
funny.
I like funny ones.
Yeah. Anyways, but as always, we're in the lovely Rogue Media Network studios. They take great care of us. You can listen to us or any of the other amazing podcasts on this network
at roguemedianetwork.com.
That's right. And then you can also find us on a slew of podcasting platforms, the biggest two being
Spotify.
Sorry, it sounds like Spotify.
Spotify.
And Apple.
And Apple.
And wherever you do listen, don't forget to
rate, review, like, and subscribe.
because that is the only way we can get ahead
Yes,
in this
please.
world.
Give us some 5 stars.
That's right.
5 boos.
5 boos. And if you want to let us know your thoughts on any of the upcoming movies or any of the movies we've done in the past, or if you want to tell us what movie you want us to cover, you can reach out to us on our one social media platform being Instagram, and that is at
Boobays Podcast, and that is BOOBAES because we're your boobays, not your boobabes.
That's right. And happy spooky season,
Happy
you guys.
spooky season, you guys. Halloween is almost coming up. I'm so excited. Please, you guys, send us DMs of your Halloween costumes. Send us
Yes.
pictures. Tell us what
Ooh.
you're going to be.
Especially if it's like horror movie themed.
Yes.
I know Kesley is going to be based off of a large franchise we have covered in this.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm
Don't say it.
excited.
Don't spoil it. But yeah, please let us know what you're going to be. Send it in. And also don't forget to give us any more suggestions about what you want us to cover in the following episodes.
Because we're definitely wanting to do some more listener requests. And we just love to hear from y'all.
We might do another month of it. Who knows?
Yeah.
When we do that. But yeah,
Until
next
next
time.
time.
Bye, bays.
Bye, bays.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.